Thanks. First of all, thank you very much for inviting me. I will try to give you an introduction about WebGL as a business, because here we've seen very good showcases of technology about WebGL, but at the end we want to use WebGL in our businesses and get money from it. So first of all, I have a startup. It's called Bebelity. We are two founders. It's me and Victor Nordstrom. We've been working. I come from the video game industry, and Victor is from selling software in big companies. So 1 year ago, we decided to found Bebelity. Bebelity is a platform. It's an authoring tool focused for designers. WebGL, we've seen tons of examples of programming WebGL. The thing is that designers, they don't use to program, they prefer to use graphic applications. So our idea is that we gave them tools so they can create interactive scenes, like configuring products, showing products, small video games. I will explain you later. So basically, we use HTML5 as the platform. We have the tool. It's cloud-based. It's for professional use, so it's completely aimed for graphic designers who today are using the creative suite, for example, from Adobe, and we want them to use our product for 3D visualization. So first of all, I will show you a little bit what is Bebelity. Okay. Okay, it's a little bit small. Basically, this is the authoring tool I was explaining you before. With Bebelity, designers can just drag and drop their models into this tool. It's completely web-based, and you can drag and drop your 3D models configured. There are several projects that you've seen that you can use to program scenes. The thing is that here, for example, you can change the background. If you connect to internet, sorry. Okay. No. Okay. Yes. Sorry. Yes. Sorry. Okay. Okay, as you can see, you can change the environment map. You can graphically change the textures. For example, with normal mapping. Okay, so with our platform, you can drag and drop models. We'll add animation, interactivity, everything that you can think of. But always think about interactive scenes that a designer can do, because we don't want to get into the complexity that you can have with 3GS or any other 3D engine. So returning to the business side, immersive 3D. Why is it important, immersive 3D in the website? Because it's not because it's cool to have 3D. Okay, but why it is cool? It's very important to understand that from the people from the business, they want to understand why they want to use 3D in the website. It's very important, for example, for the marketing industry. Why? Because normally when you look at a photograph, you just look at it and that's it. You can't interact with it. you spend few time on it. What the companies want is that their customers spend time on their websites and on their products. It's very important that the customers that goes to your website spend a lot of time just looking at your product, and the word here is engagement. It's very important that you engage your customers. Super important. Why? Because that means money. If you have tons of customers engaged by your products, then you will convert that into money. So this is very important because this is the base of the 3D in a website. 3D for marketing is super important to understand that 3D it's a big step ahead of only having 2D images. Okay, and also it's very important the user experience that is active versus passive. Why? Because we are used to passive experience, but what you want is, as I said, to engage the customers, and also you want to get metrics from that customers. You want to know what are they looking for. With an active experience, you can know exactly what is he looking at. Okay, you have a product, but do you want it? Do you want your user? Does your user want to change that color? Is it what does it like from that product? Does he spend time looking at the tires here, for example, or is they just pass and they don't look at it? That's very important. So I've talked about the marketing, but there are several markets, several verticals where WebGL can be used. So, for example, advertisement. Normally, you have ads that they are very passive. I'm talking about videos, for example, but it's important to understand, as most of you know, that with WebGL you can create an interactive experience even with a banner. That's as I tell, that has great value from the point of view of people from marketing. Of course, you have architecture, you have gaming, engineering, and interface design, 3D interface design. How we see the future is now today we have all the interfaces. Normally they are 2D interfaces. You see all the websites are 2D. You have some animations, but with WebGL, your website you can create a 3D experience with your website. Why? Because the technology is there. It's embedded. You are not talking about using a plugin to show your website. So once all the browsers support the 3D, you want your users to be engaged by your experience. And there's where a 3D interface is important there. Of course, gaming, I mean, we've seen several cases here of projects that you can use for creating games. But not only that. You can see gamification, as I told, a mix between gaming and advertisement. This is something that is growing a lot because, as I told you before, it's about engagement. Product configuration. This is very important because with 3D you can create new products that didn't exist before because it's a mix of products. It's customized from your customers, and of course medical. You can see 3D scans, etc. So why is WebGL so important? There's a shift to HTML5 in industry. So today, until WebGL had arrived, we had the market completely fragmented. We've seen tons of technologies. I mean, we've seen Adobe. You have Unity, that's only for the website, but you have several 3D engines. Basically, if you look at the consoles, each console has their own technologies, devices. It's a completely fragmented market. So if you want to create a product for only one device, for example, you have to spend so much money to all devices that releasing one product for all of them means spending a lot of money. So what HTML changes is that we have, for the first time, a technology that can be used in all devices. So you just create your product once, and that product can be accessed from everywhere. So from the business point of view, you only have to put money in one product and not deal with several releases and things like that. That means that huge projects, you can just make them cheaper, but also companies that want to release a product for several devices can do that. Before, that wasn't possible. That was something that only big companies could do. Why else is also important? I won't repeat myself again about interactivity, and also context aware. This is super important because normally 3D experiences are made of static objects, static information. But today, with WebGL, you can know exactly where that user is. This is super easy. But then, okay, normally you show a 3D shoes, for example. Depending on the country that person is, you will show some kind of shoes, some kind of colors. WebGL is a big shift on there because it's very easy to create dynamic content. So about the adoption. Today, WebGL, half of the browsers support WebGL. Half of the traffic of internet today supports WebGL. This is like, you know, like a glass. It's half full or half empty. It's very important to understand that before WebGL, there was so many different technologies that only having a half percent of the browsers is a big step comparing to other technologies. And also there's date here, it's 214. This is when, following the Kronos group, they say that the standard should be fully adopted by all browsers. So what does it mean? That WebGL should be adopted by all browsers, means by all devices, means by not only portable devices, but also PCs, things like that. So if you release one product, you can reach nearly all devices, okay? So business models. The good thing about WebGL is that you can adopt business models that are very related to internet. I'm talking about software as a service, SaaS. You can create platforms that you can use to sell your products. Okay. So what is it? Why is this important? You can create you can have subscription models. If you have a platform, normally what you do is you just try to get constant revenue from your users. That's basically most of the new platforms has that model. But why is it important? Okay, it's only because if you talk to investors, they will tell you. Normally, if you compare the subscription model to a more traditional one, you get 2.5 revenue. It means 2.5 more revenue that you should have compared to traditional models. This is super important because if you build a company, it's important to know how much will you make each month. And if you make it twice compared to a traditional model, that's much better. So you know what will be your revenue next month, because you are not only selling licenses. Here, I think that all of you understand what is the freemium model. So you basically give for free your product, and you have a conversion rate of that people, let's say 1%, so that 1% of the people will buy your product. This is important to it's very important to understand that you will make money only if your conversion rate is big. So it doesn't matter whatever you do. The conversion rate is the most important thing that you will have to take into account if you have a freemium model or even a subscription model with or without freemium. Because it's better to have 1,000 users and all of them buys your product that have 1 million and only 0.05% buying your product. So imagine that you will have to spend a lot of money on marketing. So you have to take into account the conversion rates and make them as high as possible. In-app purchases. Another good thing of doing software as a service is that you can earn money from different things, not only from licenses. For example, 3D printing. There are some companies that they make money just with 3D printing. So when you can create a model that's completely for free, but when you print it, you get money from that. So it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how you make money. The thing is that you have to make money in one point of the chain. Okay, it's like a highway. It doesn't matter where you have to stop to pay. It doesn't matter if it's at the beginning or at the end. But just make sure that there's some place where the user will give you money. So there are also if we for example, in our case, we make revenue from 2 channels. One is direct, and another is through integration. You also have to take into account that maybe you can make money with a reseller or with another technology that use your API. That's why APIs are so famous, because that can make you earn money from third parties. And licensing. It's important to understand that WebGL today can be sold as a B2B service, because companies, products based on other companies, they don't care if they have to use Chrome or they have to use Firefox. But for customers, it's not like that. You have to make sure that your product works on all of them. And with B2B, you can be more flexible. So thank you very much. I hope this will give you some introduction to making money with WebGL. And thank you very much. Here are the contacts. If somebody wants to contact us, just write us an email. Thank you very much.